Hi there, I'm Tracy Townsend. I am going to take you through this week's top stories from around Columbus. The city of Columbus, in fact, is breaking ground on the long-awaited police substation in the Hilltop neighborhood. Third time's the charm in this case, as Mayor Andrew Ginther explains why this project has been delayed for many years. Plus, there's a new effort to address affordable housing in Central Ohio. The Columbus Metropolitan Library plans to sell land to developers to make room for more housing on the east side. Leaders say this effort will help address a great need in the community. Earlier this year, 10 investigators looked into several complaints to the Ohio Attorney General. They were all about a local car dealer in Columbus, and many said they never received their auto title after buying their cars. Well, after pressing the AG's office, those buyers are finally getting answers and results.
Grateful, but not quite satisfied.
This has gone on too long. And I'm grateful, but here we are.
That's the best way to describe how Andre Tyus is feeling. He's waited nearly 2 years for this check, a refund for a car he bought from All For You Auto in South Columbus. In April, we told you that Tyus returned the Honda Pilot he bought after waiting 5 months for the title. When he didn't get his money back, we took his concerns to the Attorney General's office. And it turns out he was one of about a dozen people who had filed similar complaints. So we pressed the Attorney General himself for answers.
Are you guys investigating them?
The law says I'm not allowed to confirm or deny. But what I can tell you is this sort of thing is not unheard of, and we have had other situations just like this.
After our investigation aired, Tyus got this letter telling him his case had been reassigned to a new agent. And then, nearly 2 years to the day he bought the car, he got his check. It came courtesy of the state's Title Defect Rescission Fund, which is set up to help refund people who find themselves in these kinds of situations. And in light of this situation, Tyus says he has 2 messages to share. First, for the Attorney General's office.
Do you have any feedback for them on the overall process now that you have been cut a check?
Anything that I have to say for them, thank you, first of all. But next time, let's be on it, just like the last agent did.
And next, he told 10 TV he wants to encourage others to speak up.
Through this life, I've seen if you just stand, you don't have to fight that much, because there's ways made that will fight for you. In this case, it was 10 TV.
This is Rochelle Aline with 10 TV.
10 Investigates also called the dealer to get an update on those car titles, but we have not heard back. In Columbus, Rochelle Aline, 10 TV News.
Beyond the hydrangeas and this yellow caution tape is Grace's place, a sanctuary for 17-year-old Grace Glaros living with spina bifida. Her parents designed every path and corner of their Worthington Hills backyard, making it accessible for Grace to give her freedom.
Our daughter's a wheelchair user, and so we've needed to add different paths, and we built the garden beds so that she can kind of roll out into it and help participate in the gardening. And then a few years ago, we added kind of a she shed art and craft area for her just to be outside.
But mom, Lauren Glaros, says their oasis and home is now at risk. Their home, one of about 20 directly in the path of AEP's North Columbus Transmission Rebuild Project.
Unfortunately, the project requires taking out everything behind the caution tape.
The plan, replace these wood power lines with 80-foot steel poles, requiring a 50-foot easement through backyards. On its website, AEP says the project is needed to better connect Sawmill and Lizelle substations to increase reliability and capacity for the growing region. For Whitney Wilson, a few houses down, she's regretting buying this home. She's raising 3 young children here.
I wouldn't have bought this house if it had had an 80-foot steel pole
in the back of the yard. And that is a concern I think a lot of homeowners share by forcing upon this neighborhood an infrastructure that just doesn't belong in quarter-acre lot homes.
Wilson pointing to stakes marking where the 50-foot easement would cut into their property.
This is feet within our property line, and this becomes property we can't do anything with.
In some cases, those markings cut through fences, decks, even pools. AEP says since the transmission line and blanket easement was built in the 1930s, well before the homes, AEP has the right of way. AEP sending these letters offering $3,500 in easement compensation.
They bought the home with the transmission line on their property. We're working with our project teams to identify, if there's opportunities to let some of those things stay within the easement area.
At a public meeting in April, residents asked AEP to reroute the project or bury the lines. AEP says it's not possible since the line is also a distribution line.
Actually a lot more disturbance with underground construction than there is with overhead as well. So we are aware of the concerns that the neighbors have had.
That answer not good enough for homeowners, as the caution tape is a daily reminder of what they could soon lose.
Will be devastated by this loss. And so we are really, really hoping that someone at AEP can hear our plea and understand that what they are demanding is just not reasonable.
It's awful. Traffic is bumper to bumper. It takes twice as long to get home.
Bumper to bumper, drivers waiting and waiting. Some more patient than others. The cause, northbound traffic is down to one lane, and that's soon to be the case for those heading south. Justina Benjamin works in the county buildings and deals with it daily.
People yelling, honking. We're just sitting there, standstill, getting late, like going home to, like after school activities with their kids. So it's rough.
We tried it out at midday. It took us a little more than 5 minutes in a line of cars to go 4 blocks to cross to the north side.
The work that's going on High Street currently is to prepare for the reconstruction of the High Street Bridge.
A block to the west, Front Street is still closed, just as it's been since 2022.
The Front Street Bridge was originally slated to open late summer of this year. Just with all the resources and work that's going on in the area, we had to adjust the schedule to align that with the opening of the flyover ramp.
The end of that project is coming. It should be open in November. The High Street project won't be as intense.
The difference with this one versus Front Street is that we are still going to be maintaining traffic on High Street. There will still be one lane in each direction versus Front Street, which was a full closure of the bridge.
The High Street Bridge will come down in halves, but that means doing some work right now to make sure it can carry your car and all the heavy equipment needed to do the work.
Prosecutors and Avery's family were disappointed by today's sentence, but they hope that Avery's law will inspire change for harsher penalties in the future.
Your Honor, thank you for allowing me to read my survivor statement.
Avery Russell, now 12 years old, on the stand speaking to the owner of her attackers.
Anyone can see I'm not the same girl I used to be.
1 coma, 6 surgeries, and countless hospital visits later, the 7th grader faces the world with courage. But she'll serve a life sentence of reminders of the attack.
She had to relearn how to eat, speak, walk, run.
Avery's mom, Drew, says she hoped for a longer sentence than 4 days in jail.
She can walk every day and pretend like this never happened. We don't get that honor. We don't have that privilege.
The dog owner will be restricted on pets she can own over the next 3 years. The judge ruled the surviving dog involved in the attack will be euthanized after a dog warden testified that dog is vicious and has racked up $9,000 in bills since it was brought to the shelter. With the court process in the rear view, Avery and her family are looking ahead to the future.
I'm going to change the ways that the laws are with the dog owners.
The disappointment fueling their fight to pass a law to strengthen dangerous dog laws.
They need to feel pain just like their victims do, and it's just not fair.
Avery's law has been passed by the Ohio House and will be considered by the state Senate in the fall. Reporting at the courthouse, Carla Rogner, 10 TV News.
Mid-Ohio Food Collective says they've lost around $4 million in state and federal funding this year.
In Central Ohio, the Mid-Ohio Food Collective says more people than ever before are turning to them for help.
58% increase over the peak of COVID in terms of the number of requests for help we're getting on an annual basis. So we're continuing to see a very high need, and it's not going away.
At Hilliard Food Pantry Plus, the need is clear. Erin West, the executive director, says it's hard to feed everyone.
We are receiving less food, and we are having to purchase food, and food is more expensive. So it's just all around, we're feeling the pinch.
West says she thinks the need is a lasting symptom of the pandemic.
Just inflation. Everything is costing more. COVID kind of hit people strongly, and it kind of get them off balance, and now they're trying to get, just back.
To cut back, Mid-Ohio Food Collective says they're encouraging food pantries to give less. That way, they still have enough food to give to everyone.
They're asking everybody to give out less per person. That's really what it boils down to at the end of the day.
Habash says they are doubling down on food industry partners to ask for food. They want to make sure that no food goes to waste. Habash says it should be a team effort to support people in need.
This is a very resilient community. It's a very helping, giving community right here. And we need, state support and government support to say nobody in our community, nobody in America should go hungry.
And the food bank says they expect to lose another $1.5 million in funding next year. Reporting in Grove City, Tara Jabor, 10 TV News.
For the third time in 5 years, Columbus Mayor Andrew Ginther has announced a new substation in the Hilltop that will replace this one on Sullivan Avenue.
The Hilltop deserves this. This is a commitment to community safety, trust, and engagement.
This vacant grassland just off Sullivan Avenue will look like this in less than 2 years. The project itself has been in the works for years.
This is the third press conference I've attended announcing the substation back in 2021 and 2023. What has taken so long?
It's been complicated because the city has had to work with the state and negotiate.
The new substation will be 7 times larger than the existing substation and will have a 1,500 square foot community room.
At other substations, we use those community rooms for meetings throughout the community and collaboration with community members. And so I think it's really a hub for this community.
We know the need for this facility is urgent. For too long, Precinct 19 has been working out of a building that, as the mayor said, is more than 50 years old. It was outdated.
In 2023, Mayor Ginther set aside $23 million in his capital budget for the new sub, and council approved $1.5 million for the design and engineering of the building, hoping it would be finished in 2025.
You set aside $23 million in your capital budget in 23. Where did that money go?
Well, I think obviously based on it's been set aside for this police substation to build it once the negotiation was completed with the state.
The $13.9 million set aside for this building is an investment in the neighbors on the west side.
This is going to be a great play for our officers, for the community to gather. There's designated community space for block watch meetings and other things. And just another sign that we're serious about safety in the city of Columbus.
And Ginther says the new substation should be complete by November of 2026. In Columbus, Lacey Crisp, 10 TV News.
The cost of playing sports is expensive, and it's really only going up. A parent can easily drop $1,000 in entry fees in sporting equipment, but a local organization is trying to break down those barriers.
I mean, I have coaches coming up and saying my kids are playing in Crocs or playing barefoot.
Baseball bats, helmets, hockey sticks, all donated and ready for a second lease on life. Leveling the Playing Field Ohio wants to get everything in this warehouse into the hands of kids so everyone has a chance to play. Coaches, PE teachers, program directors, all getting the chance to stock up. Eric Rutkowski runs the operation.
It's these coaches, it's these PE teachers, it's these program directors that really care about these kids, that they're going out of pocket and buying for 3, 4, 5 kids.
But here, they can get what they need at no cost. The Solid Waste Agency of Central Ohio recently gave the organization $35,000, enough to buy this van to go around and pick up all the goodies.
They're helping us with our mission by diverting that material from our landfill.
76% of what comes into our landfill doesn't really need to be there.
If you're a parent with a kid who plays sports, you know how expensive the equipment can be. A football mouth guard, $20. A basketball, about $35. And a baseball mitt, that'll run you $150.
So they really helped me with filling in my gaps for equipment.
Marion Franklin phys ed teacher Kevin Rollins knows the need all too well. He's visited the warehouse 3 times to give his high schoolers the chance they deserve.
I told my wife that it was like waking up on Christmas morning, kind of, you just walk into a warehouse and being able to pick up the things you need without having to worry about the price tag over it. It was truly a blessing.
Maybe you have a lightly used baseball bat, a pair of soccer cleats, or an old basketball that's gathering dust in the garage the kids don't use anymore. Instead of sending it to the landfill, you can donate it. I have a list of those donation locations in this story on our website, 10tv.com. In Columbus, Colin Dorsey, 10TV News.
The library has owned this piece of land behind me since 2013 when construction started on the Shepherd branch right next door. Now this vacant lot could fill an important need in this community.
We are selling the property to Homeport, and they're going to develop the land into housing.
Wendy Tressler, Planning and Strategy Officer at the Columbus Library, says they wanted this land to go to good use.
We understand the community need in the Columbus area for affordable housing and housing of all different types, and we wanted to be a part of that.
This land on both sides of Nelson Road was once a lumber yard. The library bought all of it to build the Shepherd branch, which opened nearly 10 years ago. In the growing community just off 670 on the east side, more affordable housing is key. Homeport has submitted plans to build homes for sale and rent on this land, including senior housing. The library is selling both plots for $480,000 at a time when the Columbus Library is facing a $2.5 million budget cut in this year's state budget. Every dollar back to the library is important.
That is money that we will need to help maintain our current 23 facilities.
The library hopes to finalize the sale in the next few months. Reporting in Columbus, Carla Rogner, 10TV News.
My grandmother, Jane Weston, was killed in a crash when the B-25 bomber hit her house. My mother was living next door.
A tragic day in Newark's history will now always be remembered.
This involved so many people in this town when it took place, and quite a memorable event.
September 8th, 1942, a B-25 bomber left Wright Airfield in Dayton, headed for Mitchell Air Force Base in Long Island, New York. But shortly into the flight, something went wrong. The plane crashed in a residential area of Newark.
I grew up knowing the accident had happened, but people just didn't say much about it.
8 people died that day, 6 men who were aboard the plane and 2 women on the ground. It was a day many people tried to forget, but now historians are documenting it.
I thought, this is odd that nobody knows about this. It's just kind of hearsay. It's information that's handed down from generation to generation if somebody knew about it. And that this really needs to be documented and memorialized.
Now, a new marker is going up near the site of the crash.
This is something that needs passed down. People need to remember this, as they drive past that site.
The marker was unveiled after a viewing of a documentary that walks through the history of that day and the people who were there.
It brings back a lot of family memories from stories that have been told, and, the little things that you remember that are part of the family history.
Family members of 2 of the victims sat in the crowd remembering their own family histories and the city's past.
It's hard to talk about. They hope they would never see things like that again in their lives. And most of them didn't, fortunately.
In Newark, Catherine Simon, 10TV News.
All right, pizza review time. Artisan Pizza Cafe.
If you look beyond the hat, you'll see something special is happening in the small shop along East 5th Avenue.
Pizza is my world. This is what I love to do, and this is what I enjoy.
Artisan Pizza Cafe, located in Italian Village, is owned by Jasmine, who was born in Tuscany, Italy.
I grew up literally eating everything made from scratch.
Jasmine combines her Italian and African heritage in the pizzas she creates from scratch.
The African, the Italian, put together. Amazing, delicious.
Along with pizzas, she offers a variety of lattes, milk teas, and desserts. Jasmine says she opened about 2 months ago, but almost 2 weeks ago, she had an unexpected guest.
Ooh, don't even start with me, girl.
That guest, Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy. His self-proclaimed one-bite pizza review earned her pizza a higher than average score of 8.1, leaving Jasmine at a loss for words.
This guy amazing.
The pizza review posted to social media on Monday, and by that night, she was forced to close early, posting this sign to the door.
I ran out of food. All my food is finished. I left.
And Portnoy's not alone in his opinion.
We came here to try it, and it ended up being great. My favorite pizza in Columbus. And I'm from New York, so I love pizza. I love trying new pizza.
On Tuesdays, the shop is closed so she can prep for the week. The dough starts with filtered water.
You see that?
Followed by oil, salt, and lots of flour.
Now I have to add a little more, slowly.
Some of the heavy lifting is saved for her partner.
Hey, honey, I need more flour. Hi, I need help. Yeah, he needs to do some work.
And in he comes. So on Wednesdays, they're ready to go.
What do you think?
Looks good to me.
But like any good thing that takes time,
it's worth it to wait.
That means even for the pizzas to cook, too. With some waits being longer than others depending on demand, they're doing their best to keep up.
I have a lot going on, but I'm still willing to do because this is what I love to do.
That's a wrap on this week's edition of Around Columbus, your look at the stories shaping Central Ohio. Thanks for spending time with us. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you next time. And don't forget, you can always get the latest updates on the go with the free 10TV News app.